In this section, we're going to talk about array indexing and slicing. I've got this diagram here, and I want to show you how things are indexed. Along axis 0, you can see that it's row-wise. We go 0, 1, 2, and the column is fixed at 0. This is the column at 0. But if we want to go column-wise, then we move along axis 1, 1 and 2. You can see that each value is fixed in place. 2 is fixed, 1 is fixed, and 0 is fixed. With that in mind, let's jump into some basic slicing. How would I access the second row and third column? What position is that? The way to find it is by counting. Remember that when you count in Python or in arrays, it starts with 0. So this is 0, this is 1, and this is 2, the last one. I know it might feel a bit strange starting at 0. Most people naturally think it should start at 1, but that's never the case. It always starts at 0, 1, and 2. So we start here at 1. Then what's 2? 2 is 6 here because it goes 0, 1, and 2. The indexing follows the same pattern. So for array position 1, 2, the value we get is 6. If we look at this, it's exactly how we described it earlier. Now, let's look at some basic slicing. You see this element 2 to 5, the array from 2 to 5 that we created. Where does it start? It would be 0, 1, 2, then 3 and 4. Why 4? Because counting starts at 0. There are 5 elements here, so 2 to 5 would include 2, 3, and 4. Now, if we wanted it from 1 to 8 with a step, we'd get every second element from index 1 to 8. That means 1, 3, 5, and 7. Again, it starts at 0. That's something important to remember. We'll see linspace later. I use it here just to generate data, and then I reshape it. We'll look at that too. This gives us a 4 by the 3 matrix. If I want to access position 2, 1, how would I do that? Recall the rows are 0, 1, 2, and the columns go from 0 to 2. So 0, 1 would give me an 8. If I use 2 colon, what would that do? We'd go 0, 1, 2, and it would continue until the end of the matrix, giving us 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And if there were more, 13, 14, 15. Now, what if I had colon 1? Then we're looking column-wise. So we go 0, 1, 2, and it gives us all of that. What if I used negative 1? Negative 1 starts from the end. It's not really a reverse. It simply takes the last column. That's the best way to describe it. We're taking the last column. Now, if I did negative 1 here, we'd take the last row. So we just saw how to take the last column, and now we're taking the last row, which includes 11 and 12. What about 1 to negative 1? We'd start from 1, which includes 4, 5, 6, and go up to the second to last element. When using a range, you always pick up everything except that final value. This becomes clearer as you practice more slicing. Let me show you another one. It would just be 4, 5, 6, because it doesn't include the last one, since indexing starts at 0. It's a subtle but important detail. It can be a bit confusing at first, but I want to clarify it because it's something people often get stuck on. And here, I'm skipping every 2 elements. So I start at a value and skip every 2, 1, 2, 3. I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. I'm not skipping every 2. I'm picking up every second one by skipping 1, 1. So that's 7, 8, 9. Now, I'm going to move into another example of multi-dimensional slicing. Here we have a 4 by 4 array. If I want a 1 by 3 slice and every other second column, I'll go from 0 to 2. Let's look at this column here because this is what that means. But we also need to include this column here since it goes from 0 to 2. So we're skipping 1 and picking up 1 to 3. This means 0, 1, 2, 3. This is 1 and this is 3. Oh, sorry, yes, that's 3. But remember, when we use a range like this, we don't include the last value. We only pick up the values within the range. Let me show you here. This pattern looks like a cross because of this slicing term, 0 to 2 and 1 to 3. Remember, we don't include the last term. We're only selecting whatever values are within the range, which gives us 2 values. So we're picking up 2, and we should get this, 4, 8, 6, and 10. Now, here's a 3-dimensional array. The things we were looking at before were mostly 2-dimensional. We can always check that using shape. This one is 2-dimensional, and you can see how large it is. It should match the random number generator with 5 time steps, 4 rows, and 3 columns, essentially 5 separate matrices. That's fine. Now, let's slice it. We want to slice by time step and by column. I get a bit caught up here because the matrices are large, but I've isolated the part I need. When we slice it, we're getting time step 2, all rows, and column 1. Looking at it from that perspective, this is 0, 1, 2. So we're here. Then we want the first column, which is 0, 1, and we want every row. That's what this colon symbol represents. Here's what we get: 0.584, 0.584856, and 0.349065. You can see those values clearly. Now, what if we wanted to slice across all time steps and all columns for a specific row? In this case, we're looking at every time step because we have a colon here for what we can call time steps or matrices, whichever term you prefer. So we're looking at all of them. Next, we're focusing on the first index, which is 1. From this perspective, that means 0, 1. So we're picking up that section. Since we're selecting every column, we're picking up this, and this across all time steps. To confirm, let's check the first value, 0.291222127. And yes, that's what we see here. That's an example of multi-dimensional slicing. Now, we're going to talk about Booleans. This will be the last section for array indexing and slicing. Booleans represent true or false, yes or no, or 0 and 1. You've probably seen that before. If we take this Boolean array and match it with our original dataset, it must meet a certain condition. That's what a Boolean tells you, whether a condition is true or false. For example, is 10 greater than 5? That's false. Is 12 greater than 10? That's true. Is 15 greater than true? No, that's false. So the Boolean labels each value as either true or false. Once you have those Boolean values, you apply them to your data set. If the condition is true, that value is selected. In our case, 12 and 15 were true, so those were output. Here's another example. Temp is greater than 10. You can see the Boolean values here. Starting from 11 to 14, the results become true. 4 true values: 11, 12, 13, and 14. That's all for now. In the next section, we'll start comparing two arrays.